Should I talk to you? Each other.
Dutch courage to speak to me. Welcome to my channel. I wanted to do this series for ages and ages now, and I finally got George Pelham to sit down with me, world pandemic, to get this man in the chair next to me. Not because he didn't want to, just because he's a busy boy. So hopefully this is the first of a new series for me, and it's investigating people's wardrobes and like story behind their wardrobes and their style and fashion. So I've asked George to bring with him today his favourite item of clothing, something that like he hates, or maybe not hates, but like has a bit of an issue with, and then a random item as well. So we're going to talk through these items and hopefully learn a little bit more about him and just have a fun conversation about fashion and also get drunk, it seems. So I think we'll start off with explaining a little bit about yourself. George, please.
Well, I'm a man and I am from London, and this is about myself in general, or fashion wise, or
Just a little bit about yourself.
25 years old, 26 years old, just turned 26. I'm a singer-songwriter from London, currently in Wales, and what else is there to say? There's so much to say. Yeah, I've lived in London for most of my life, used to live in China when I was younger, and I'm just trying to do the music thing, trying to make it happen.
So how long have you been a singer-songwriter for?
I, comparatively to a lot of people, I got into it quite late. So I got into it when I was 20, like properly doing it. But obviously I was doing music before, just like choir and stuff like that. So I've always loved music, but properly started pursuing it so 5-6 years ago now. And it is insanely hard to crack. But progress is being made. I'm fidgeting a lot. I think it's because I'm a bit nervous about it. Interviews are scary.
Don't be nervous.
I'm scared.
We can edit anything else, so it doesn't matter.
Okay.
What's your music like?
It's changed a lot over the years, but at the moment, and hopefully for the future, it's really uplifting kind of music. Very kind of Motown 60s inspired, but kind of modern sounding as well. Yeah, really uplifting, kind of quite personal music. It's all kind of about me and my life and relationships and feelings, and yeah, that's about it.
Cool. And I find with clothing, for example, that it's hard to stick to a certain style. Like sometimes I'll see something else that inspires me, and especially now, like it's so easy to find inspiration and so many different varies of style. Is it the same with music, because there's so many genres now? Like how do you stick to one type of music?
That's a really good question, and it's definitely something a lot of people talk about. Like when I started doing music, I wasn't really thinking about style in terms of, oh, I've got to be this one guy. I was thinking, oh, I like this kind of trap beat, but I like this kind of folk guitar, and I might like this kind of soul backing vocal or whatever, and just merging it all together. And then everyone was saying, oh, I don't know what this is. This doesn't make any sense musically. So then I think for me, it was like everyone's saying, you know, you've got to really decide who you are and pick a style and stick to it, because then people will get confused and they won't know what to expect from you, which might be a good thing, but I didn't really want that. I wanted to have a sound and something identifiable. So I think it was from everyone saying stop changing that I was like, okay, no, I need to stick to something and be happy with that.
So yeah, and with the same with your sound, did you find that your image changed at all, or have you ever had any pressure from like the industry or like your managers or anything to change your image in any way?
Yeah, definitely. My image is kind of, the image and the sound is like the same kind of thing for me. How before with my image I didn't really have one. I just kind of, oh, I like that shirt, I like those jeans, and it didn't really go together. And I've definitely had people in the past. I remember I had a manager who said, oh, you should just wear black because, you know, clothes only distract from your appearance, and like you shouldn't, you know, you don't want to distract from that. The clothes aren't important. So then I just kind of wore black and boring stuff for a while, but that didn't feel right. And then, yeah, with this kind of 60s feel good kind of thing, no one actually told me to start wearing suits or anything, or to dress up, but people did say, one guy said, when I look at you, your outfit, I don't know what you are, and that puts me off. So I thought, I don't want anyone to say that. I want them to look at me and kind of know what I'm doing, and I want the image to reflect the music, which made me really go all the way with like suits and that kind of old school styling, because that was what my music sounds like. So I want people to know what they're getting and not to be confused. So yeah.
I find it funny because obviously it's widely known that there's a lot of pressure on women to like dress a certain way, and like in the pop industry as well, and like kind of to be sex symbols, or people just, I just presume that they're being told how to look and how to dress and stuff. So it's funny actually from a man's point of view, like that you've kind of had a similar experience, and there is pressure on boys as well to conform
to something.
Yeah,
definitely. I mean, I don't know if it's worse for girls, and I think maybe girls sometimes maybe are more sexualized than boys in terms of like what they're told to wear, but I don't actually know that. So I've never had anyone said, you know, you got to take your clothes off or anything, but there is pressure. I don't know if there's as much, but there is pressure to kind of look a certain way. Sometimes for a gig, I had an old manager who said, oh, you should wear this suit, or like, you know, rather than just being free. So there's not like a total freedom, I would say.
Okay, great. So that's a little bit about you.
It's weird because like you know all this stuff anyway.
Yeah, but I'm for your sake. I'm asking this question, but I am learning stuff about you as well.
Really?
Yeah, definitely. Right. So we've learnt a little bit about you and what you do. So I think it's time to move on to your first outfit. First item. What do you want to start with?
I'll start with my favourite.
Okay,
item.
let's go with your favourite item.
Which is this guy. I've got
nice, love it.
this very garish yellow suit.
So tell me why you love it.
Well, for a lot of reasons. It was kind of one of the first things I bought when I decided really wanted to look a certain way in terms of like 60s and that kind of thing. And I remember going to all the vintage shops in London, literally at all the places, Brick Lane, Angel, Soho, Portobello Road, and this, maybe about 25 shops, and this was the best suit of all of the suits that I saw, and also in your size, because vintage shops is really hard to find things in your size. And so that was really exciting. Got it, left it on the tube, which was awful, and I was really upset for weeks, but then somehow it turned up at a depot.
Oh my god.
I know, and it is, and I love it, and I just wore it for a music video, and I love the texture of it, because it's not the kind of thing that you'd see in like a Top Man or kind of a high street shop, really. I don't really know how to describe it. It's kind of like, well, it's hard to see.
It's almost like a linen-y kind of.
Yeah, but maybe a bit thicker.
It really reminds me of my grandma. Actually, had some. It's kind of like an upholstery fabric. Like, yeah, it reminds me of some curtains that my grandma had actually.
Absolutely.
In a very good way.
Yeah, it just kind of works, and I love the colour, and it's so unlike, and the buttons are really cool, and it's just unlike anything you see, and it just kind of like, I remember walking down the street with it when I first wore it. I was like terrified of walking down the street with it, because I just thought like I looked like I was trying to get a lot of attention, or like someone would say, what are you doing? Take that off. You look ridiculous. Because it's quite an outlandish thing. But now I wouldn't think twice walking down the street with it, because you just kind of get used to wearing certain clothes. And
yeah, it's great. It's so nice with vintage pieces as well, because you wonder like who had it before.
Yeah, yeah.
And whether this was like made for someone, or because there's no labels at all in it, is there?
No, there's not.
So
I remember the person from the shop, I think she told me it was from the 1960s.
Yeah.
But I didn't know any more than that.
That's really cool. So what would you style this with? How would you style it up? Do you find it's quite versatile, or is it just like a summer suit or a winter suit?
I wouldn't say it's that easy to style. I think it's the statement piece, so you gotta go simple. I've actually started with this shirt, actually, which kind of works with the kind of colours, the beigey yellow kind of colours. So either this, so like a simple kind of shirt, white or like something light, and maybe like kind of light shoes. I've tried kind of brown shoes with it as well, but I think kind of pale shoes. And yeah, I think more of a summer, spring kind of thing. You wouldn't be wearing this in the December.
Deep midwinter.
No, not appropriate. But yeah, it's good for a kind of sunny day, or like maybe a little what are those hats called? The kind of the white kind of.
Oh, like could be with a T. A trilby? No, not
trilby. Not quite a trilby. Kind of like a summer white hat, if you know what I mean.
Like a straw one.
Yeah, like a straw hat. Yeah.
Both are almost.
Yeah, that kind of, you can see it with that. I think I've worn it with that before, and it can look pretty cool.
So this was your first suit?
Yeah, I think so. I think it was the first one.
And how many suits do you have now?
15.
That's amazing. So so one for every 2 days of the week.
Yeah, and an extra.
Twice over.
Yeah.
That's great. So you know when you were saying like that you bought your first suit and then you were a bit shy about like going out into the world with it. Do you find that like, how did your friends and family react to that? Because I find that when I was younger and then I tried out a new style, I just get shy like seeing people that I knew already, because it's kind of like, this is who I am now, like I'm trying to be something else, or I'm trying to do something else. How do people react to that? Because sometimes it can go, in my experience, sometimes it can go really badly, and people can just be like, the people that know you the most can sometimes hate change, and they can be like, what are you wearing, or why are you doing that, or...
That's a good question. Yeah, I kind of forgot about all of that, because I remember when I started wearing suits, I think all my friends, I think all my friends especially were like kind of laughing at it, like, come on, what's all this suit business, what are you trying to prove? Oh, another suit. And they're always kind of like, it wasn't making fun of me, but it was like lightheartedly kind of, joking about it. And then I'm trying to think my family, what they were doing. I think they quite liked it, but yeah, there was a bit of that. So I remember always used to prefer meeting new people, because they would just take you as you were. They wouldn't think like, oh, he used to wear jeans and now he wears suits. They just think, oh yeah, that's the guy with the suit, and that's kind of your image, and that's kind of what you want anyway. That's how you want to be thought of as. That's why you're dressing that way. So yeah, it was a little bit annoying, but not awful. Like no one was saying stop it, or no one was saying anything awful about it. But like a little bit funny.
Because I think when I first met you, you were known as like, you were like just George who wears suits.
Yeah, exactly.
And then like when you met my friends as well, like if they saw you in anything other than a suit, they would like faint on the floor. They'd be so shocked.
Yeah,
and then you're just known as like the suit guy. Whereas it's funny when you like made that transition, and like as you're growing up and stuff. Is there any styles that you just wish you hadn't tried, or wish you hadn't done?
I wouldn't say there were styles I wish I hadn't done. There's periods where I had no style, which I wish I hadn't done. Like when I was a teenager, I think a lot of the kind of Justin Bieber hoodies with like the white zipper, awful, and then just like jeans that didn't quite fit right, so bad. And then and just like kind of this kind of polo shirts that have the stripes across, You know what I mean? With like the long sleeve and there's so many. But no, I think because for a long time I just had no kind of thought about it. I just didn't kind of care about it, and then you realise, oh, actually, you do want to look a certain way. You want to look nice, and you have to think about your style.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So clothes haven't been something that you've always really thought about then?
No, not always. Not until I was, I think not until I was actually doing music when I started thinking about clothes, because someone said, oh, you know, what are you going to wear on stage? And I thought, oh, I don't know. I think that was the first time I was like, oh, maybe it's important. So not for a while then.
Yeah. And do you think, is it like in your family, do they care about fashion? Like what are their influences on you? Or
yeah,
like what about your parents?
My parents, they care about fashion. They're into kind of, my dad and mum, they're kind of similar. I think they're quite loud colours, like bright colours, always quite garish, always trying to make an impression, which I was always fighting when I was younger. I always wanted to wear black and blue just to kind of, because they were telling me to wear orange, so I thought, I don't want to do that, that's not cool. And then, but then you realise black and blue, you can only go so far. I don't know, I find that, yeah, you want to make someone smile with a colour, like.
I think there's some people that get away with like doing the whole like really chic black and blue and
That's
like
true.
that kind of like capsule wardrobe. I think it works really well for some people.
It does.
But then, yeah, for me personally, it's not something that I'm a fan of. I went through a phase of it, and then I started dressing more vintage style, and then felt like I really came into my own with it. But yeah, I think this
works for some people.
Yeah, but it really does work, and like I admire people that can just make it look amazing and chic.
Yeah, it really does. It's all about the fit, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. So do you find that like with your clothes, like where's your favourite place to get them from, or do you what do you look for? Sorry, that's two questions. But like where's your favourite place to shop?
Favourite place to shop? Depends.
Still into vintage, or?
Yeah, definitely still into vintage, because you can always get things that you just wouldn't get in a Top Man or something. So vintage shopping, Brighton, love it. Loads of shops, really nice place to go anyway. So just kind of walking around the vintage shops, and you always get something interesting.
Hey, do you want to move on to the item that you hate or find difficult?
Okay, yeah, let's talk about that.
I know this was a bit of a struggle because obviously we're, full disclosure, we're not at our house in London. We're at my parents' house in North Wales. So obviously we only brought stuff that we didn't bring it packed full of wardrobe full of stuff we hate. Exactly. So this was a bit of a tricky one for you, but
there was a winner.
But there's something that you find difficult, then maybe not necessarily that you hate. Or
I don't hate it. With. Yeah, I don't hate it. I like it in some levels. I really like it in some levels, but yeah, I find difficulty.
Go on, get it out.
With these trousers.
Well, they're black, and you said you didn't wear black.
Yeah, because sometimes you're gonna wear black if you're going something crazy up top.
Yeah, but these are nicer. They've got this herring. Let's put them up.
They do. They've got
They're
this
like
herringbone.
velvet.
They're velvety.
Herringbone pattern.
And yeah, so it's like a kind of, they're a bit cooler than just like a normal black trousers, which I like, and they're soft. But for me,
what's the issue? Come on then.
The issue, I've got a big thing with length. Got a big problem with length. I'm gonna do it up properly. So here you got your trousers, and they just don't quite go as long as you want them to. So I even basically undid, because it was hemmed like that, so I even let it go all the way. But they kind of come just above my shoe, or like maybe a half an inch above the top of my shoe. Which I find really annoying, because I just like my trousers to go all the way to my shoe. It's a bit more of a classic style, which I really like. And I know the trend these days is to have it quite high, almost like 3/4 length shorts, which I don't know what it is, I just can't get on board with it. And so sometimes if I want to like push them all the way down to my shoe, I can do it. I can get it to go to my shoe, but I have to kind of make it a bit looser and make it go down a bit, and it just doesn't sit quite right when I do that. Where it's supposed to be higher, where, what's it called, around my waist, and what's it called, I can feel where it wants to be, but it just doesn't go far enough on the leg, which is annoying, but also I love it. So it's
They're
a
a
difficult
nice pair of trousers. They are good.
It's a difficult relationship.
Yeah, I find, because I love the like turned up ankle and like shorter trousers. I think it looks great. I think it's such a nice styling. What are you staring at?
I'm just looking at them.
Oh, okay. Just admiring them. I think it's such a nice styling piece.
I can see that.
And if anything, I would be like, oh god, that guy's trousers are too long.
True, that long trousers are also a bad thing, because you don't want to be stepping on them, or you don't want any bagginess down at the ankle, because that is horrific. But
yeah,
you also don't want them to be too, well, I don't want them to be too short. So I find it quite hard getting trousers, because I'm quite specific in terms of like the length and that kind of thing, which is annoying.
So you have to do some handy tailoring.
Yeah, you
yourself.
gotta do your own thing, yeah.
Do you like tailor stuff or alter things? Is that something that you're into?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely with vintage shopping, you're never gonna get the perfect fit, because there's only one of the suit or the trousers or whatever, and you're not gonna have a selection. So if you like the colour and the fabric and the fit, well, not the fit, you can alter the fit quite significantly, and I've got a tailor that I use that sometimes when I need to have things done, which is really cheap actually if you want to get something altered, depending on how much you want, but it's always worth it, I think.
I don't think people do that enough now.
I agree.
And I think also that maybe you'll have like a certain budget, or like you'll kind of, because we can get access to clothes so easily and buy them so quickly, I think we kind of spend above our means, and then there's no wiggle room to get something altered. Whereas if you were like, I really want this suit and I'm gonna save up money for it and then I can get it tailored, it's like, it's more of a bigger purchase. It's just like a one-off investment, rather than just like constantly buying things and then things that don't quite fit you, but just got it because it was cheap.
And it just looks 10 times better when it's fitted properly. If you can buy it and not have to tailor it and it fits great.
Yeah, ideal.
Ideal, but that's rarely the case.
Yeah, I find that jeans can be tricky like that as well. I'd love to get them sorted. And I think for women, like, we're all so many different, we're all different sizes completely, and the fact like this kind of one, we're all categorized into these like 8, 10, 12 kind of thing, makes it really difficult, because some people's hips are bigger or some people are smaller on the waist, and it just doesn't work. So yeah, tailoring, or if you can alter it yourself, that would be the ideal. But doing denim, difficult. I think is hard, particularly. And I used to do stuff when I was younger, but then I'd just be like, I'd just rush it, because I then ruin it. Right, so that leaves us with your final random item. What's this going to be?
I love. Nothing to do with fashion, but...
We'll make it about fashion, somehow.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's... What's it called? The trendiest new accessory for any man. A trumpet. So why I'm bringing this trumpet is because yeah, it's quite fun to play with. It's because it's a bit of a dodgy trumpet. I don't know. I just bought it. Because we're here in Wales and I don't have a lot else. But B, I am going to start learning it today, and I've been learning loads of new instruments while in quarantine, because I've got this dream of doing an album or even a track that I've played everything on and done it all.
That's a big ambition.
Which is a big ambition, yeah, because I remember hearing that Prince did it and then thinking, you know, wouldn't that be fun? And I basically worked with this guy called Rob Jones who has done that 5 times, 5 different albums, all himself. So it's possible, and I just find it really fun learning new instruments and you know, not getting bogged down by just the guitar the whole time or piano or whatever. So
how many instruments can you play now?
Now, so let's say Voice. Let's go with the voice. Let's go with the voice. Let's go with the guitar. We won't differentiate between electric and acoustic because it's the same thing. Guitar, voice, bass, piano, drums, saxophone. So trumpet would be number 7.
Nice.
Yes.
Like it.
Mm.
It's a pretty cool instrument as well. Like I just
Yeah.
feel like brass is like,
It's a soulful
especially
thing.
the saxophone as well. That's quite
Yeah.
a cool
Mm.
thing. You'd have to get your image up for that.
Yeah, no, it is super cool, and trumpet players are always really cool. So I'm gonna start making some noises with it later this afternoon, and that's
Yay.
it.
Feel really lucky about that. Great. So thanks so much for bringing all your items all the way to the bedroom, from the bedroom to
No
the
problem.
bedroom. I really appreciate that, and thank you so much for giving me your time.
Mm-hmm.
Shall we finish off with someone who's your idol, like who's your style idol?
I've got a few people I think are really cool. I think Sam Cooke always looked really cool. I love Sam Cooke's style. Really classic 60s kind of nice cuts. I think Harry Styles, at the risk of saying something that anyone else would say, has an awesome style, and he's kind of similar to me actually because he's got the colourful suits, but he actually kind of goes the next level.
Yeah, I think he's doing a lot for, because a lot of people look up to him, and I think he's doing quite a lot for like androgynous style and just pushing boundaries.
Yeah.
And I think that's really
Yeah.
like fab, because I know what you mean. It's kind of feels a bit like basic or whatever to say Harry Styles, because he is like the man of the moment.
He
but
is.
I think he's doing a lot of important things for fashion. He's not just wearing expensive things and looking good. Like he's wearing like girls' shirts and
Yeah.
you know.
That video that he just did, he was wearing like a dress. Like
Yeah.
you see the kind of white dress with the collar.
No, I've not seen it.
Yeah, and he's kind of underwater.
Buy this if you want.
It's similar, but it's like an even thicker collar in it. Yeah, it's really interesting. It's maybe not what I would wear. Like
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily wear that kind of thing, but I think it is really bold, and like he doesn't care what anyone thinks, and he just wears whatever he wants to wear, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And is there anyone else? No, let's go with them.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay, great.
Mm.
Well, thanks, George.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
I've really enjoyed it. I've had a really good time.
It's been quite scary for me.
Really? Have you
Yeah.
not enjoyed it?
I've enjoyed it, but yeah, I don't know, because I hadn't prepared the answers or anything, so I didn't really know what it was. It's not something that I talk about that much, so
I think you did well.
but it was fun.
Loved it. Thank you. And thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye! Oh, and you should check out George's music. He's George Pelham on Instagram, Spotify, iTunes, all that stuff,
All of it.
YouTube. So yeah, I'd highly recommend. Bye.